Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Come see us at Blue Ox.
And welcome back in to the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Speech TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, home of the Ravens, 93.5 The Beach, broadcasting from the Ravens Room here at the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City. Want to thank our sponsors, of course, the original Green Turtle, the Blue Ox, Bud Light, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Geico, the Ocean City Golf Club, jctickets.net, and the Holiday Inn Express. Mike Bradley, Joel Feldman, Steve Slaza, and Ravensers 44. Give yourself a hand. And we made it through. We made it through Hurricane Irene, and we're all decked out for our Halloween. So, boy, this is
my costume.
Boy, yeah, this is going in the trash after that. Yeah, I tell you what. So that was a gig actually, or a prank that they pulled on me at work today. I was on location, and my producer threw this up here. So, oh boy, I hope that's not going on the website. So, we'll have to do some new pictures. Yeah. Guys, we're talking about the Ravens here, the bye week. A lot of chance to kind of think about things. A couple of weeks ago, the loss to Houston, 43-13. We've been culminating over a lot of different issues, and we've talked about the defense. I want to get back to them, but we'll continue the conversation about the offense. But John Harbaugh, in his press conference, after the game Sunday, kind of gave coach speak, his typical kind of press conference. But Joel, he had a press conference on Monday, the day after, at about 4 o'clock, and he was singing a little bit of a different tune. Fill us in.
Yeah, Sunday was the generic, they're a great team, and, they did
Which
this,
they are.
And they are.
And very good team.
Let's not take anything away from Houston. They really are.
Yeah.
But we played like crap. Let's look at it that way. We really did. I mean, the Ravens, they didn't play a very good game. Monday, it was funny how he came out and his tune changed a little bit. Maybe we didn't prepare quite as well as we could have. Maybe we didn't, we weren't ready. And, he actually touched a little bit on Ray Rice because obviously, he's taking a beating in the press. Mike Preston, those guys up there, wearing them out. So I think that Harbaugh is starting to realize it. And I think that we all realize it. So I think the only person that has yet to realize what's going on is Cam Cameron. Those of you that know me, I have not been a fan of his. I haven't been a fan of his since the day he got here. I wasn't a fan of him when he went 1-15 with the Dolphins. I don't know at what point in time, Harbaugh made a comment that the buck stops here. Well, I understand that, but at what point in time do you step into the offense? I know he's not an offensive guy.
Has the buck stopped within that? That's the question. And Steve, here's my point. I want to get your take on it. Okay, I know some people are going to say, well, John Harbaugh has no clue about the offense. He can't say, and that's why he's not saying anything to Cam. Let me pump the brakes on that for a second. Okay, he's made his living as a defensive coordinator, defensive coach for years, and I know his special teams, but he was also DB's coach for the Eagles this last year. Folks, he studied offenses for a living. So to say he doesn't know about offenses, I wouldn't go that far. And to say that he knows all the intricacies of the offense, no, probably not. But that said, if the three of us up here can diagnose the fact that we're getting away from the running game when it's working well, John Harbaugh has more than enough football acumen to be able to say that and probably add some 2 cents. So I don't know if he's just giving Cam carte blanche and the buck hasn't stopped with John, why he hasn't gone down the hallway to talk with him. Because obviously if he has, then Cam's not following what his instructions are. So I don't know what's going on there. But I guess, again, time will tell to see what's happening. But I'm a little confused because to say that John Harbaugh knows nothing about offense and he's keeping his mouth shut, folks, then you don't know John Harbaugh. That's clearly not, in my opinion, not the case.
Well, there have been times over the last couple of years, where we've had a 3rd and 1, and he hasn't gone up to Cam and said, Cam, we're going to run the ball here. I mean, he has never had that kind of leash on him, which sort of leads you to, okay, what does Cam have on him? What does he know?
Well, he does.
It's Cam's offense.
He has said he does give autonomy to the coordinators, but maybe he gives them too much during the game.
But that being said, Donna asked a couple of weeks ago, what do you think of Dean Pease? And I was still drinking the Kool-Aid back then, Donna. Now I'm looking at Dean Pease going, all right, I think his weakness, and I'm not one to fire weaknesses, at coaches. It's very easy to coach from the stands. It's very difficult, to do it on the field. But the reality is, I think a major weakness right now is he's giving his coordinators too much control over both the offense and defense. He needs to step in and say, hey, we're not blitzing enough, we're not stopping the run. And, it's easy to say, but, and also on offensively, we're not running the ball. He needs to take control of this team, and I think he will. I think they'll look at it during the off week and, scout each other. The offense scouts the defense and vice versa. And I think we'll come out of this and hopefully win the next 2 games. I
mean, I give him credit for not trying to micromanage during a game. The buck does stop with him, don't get me wrong. But if you're on your job and you've got your boss constantly on you, nitpicking every little thing you do, that's very difficult to do. So you have to keep that in consideration. But you're right. Has he maybe put his fist down a little bit or not enough? Yeah, probably.
Well,
maybe
I was telling Joel before, I said, and the fans are the same way. I said, well, I'm in the stands and we're playing New England. I'm going, man, we're going to the Super Bowl. And now I'm looking at it, and we got thumped. And granted, they were coming off of thumping themselves at home against Green Bay. So we knew it was going to be, and we knew at the beginning of the season that was going to be a tough game. But, the emotions in this game, I mean, we go in a span of 4 weeks from, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl to, hey, we might not make the playoffs.
There's a misconception.
Don't go that far. I think that's.
There's a misconception because I got in this conversation with one of the Baltimore radio personalities up there.
One of my coworkers. How dare you?
Let's not mention any names. But anyway, the conversation was, we've been to the playoffs 4 years in a row. And Cam Cameron's been the coordinator. And my reply was, do you really feel that we've been to the playoffs 4 years in a row because of Cam Cameron and because of the offense? Or has it become a consistently top 5 defense? Okay, this is the first year in the Cam Cameron, John Harbaugh, Joe Flacco era that we have not been ranked in the top 10, or if not the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what happens? The shift is now to offense.
Does the offense get exposed a little bit more?
So here you go, Cam. Yeah. It's yours. This is your time to shine. Because you know what? What does every offensive coordinator want to be? They want to be a head coach. He's already been a head coach and was a failure. Now he's an offensive coordinator. So my point is, this is your time to shine. The defense isn't doing well, and offensively, we're just not getting it done.
I think, Steve, there's something to be said, though, in defense of Cam. And look, I've defended him more than a lot of people, and I've been critical over the last couple of weeks of him, too. One thing I will say, and one of my coworkers at CBS in Baltimore on The Fan, on the Scott Garceau show, Jeremy Kahn, said, look, though, there's something to be said for go out and execute the play. Look, I've been a player, I've been a coach, and look, coaches have a lot of influence, and they call the plays, et cetera. But the players still have to execute the play. Now, again, the coaches have something to do with that. But let's not get away from the fact that the players on the field. Okay, we want to say that we stunk on Sunday a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and even when Cam called a pass, though, okay, it's incumbent on those guys to run the play and execute, and they didn't. They were terrible. I'm pretty sure that our offensive line coach teaches the linemen how to keep the defensive linemen's hands down, or at least do the best job. And Coleccio Assembly didn't do that. Michael Orr didn't do that. So, guys got to execute too.
Now, you definitely said, they didn't say, hey, let the guys get in tight and let them knock down the pass. I mean, Flacco had five passes, batted down. Sure. And, they're coming up. And I didn't want to give the impression that this is not going to be a playoff season, because we certainly have that chance. And, especially if we win the next couple games, I think we will be headed in a much better direction. But, the reality is you're never as good when you win, and you're never as good when you lose. And we look bad when we lost, and that's it.
And I think we need to get some clarity with that. It's a long season. We rarely lose games this badly. Houston, again, they were a very good team. They're coming off a loss. They were at a second home game. They were not going to lose this game. No. That said, could we play a lot better? Absolutely. Still 5-2. Still some concerns, though. So I think we're somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm not about to jump off the deep edge. I think some people are at 5-2. And folks, I don't think people realize how difficult it is to win in the NFL, even against a team that may be winless or this Sunday against a 2-6 team. Not going to be a cakewalk in Cleveland.
But you saw, I mean, I saw them breaking down the film, and the one pass play where their tight end tipped the ball to himself, they showed Ed Reed, and Ed Reed was coming up, and that would have been a pick six, but he tipped the ball to himself.
Yeah, it was a hell of a play.
You know, and that happens. You know, but there are a lot of, and the Ravens thought, I didn't see it that way. I saw us getting blown off the ball, you know, on the defensive front, and I saw them getting in on us. You know, and that's troubling, but you can correct those things and come out better. But, you know, there were 5 or 6 key plays where they had said, hey, if this went the other way, then we would have been in the ballgame right up to the end.
Well, you touched on a good point in execution. I had an opportunity to spend a year with the Ravens, albeit I was working security for them as a young guy, but I was on the field. I was at training camp. I worked with them. You know, I was there. Anybody that thinks that there's no coaching going on in the NFL and these guys they're superstars and they're NFL players not being coached, trust me, they're being coached. They can be coached.
Absolutely.
You know, there's things to learn, even at the NFL level. And I agree with you. I think their execution level is not where it should be for professionals. But where does that go back? You know, let's get back to the conversation. Where does it stop? You know, the coordinators, they're the top 2, and then the coach. You know, it's got to come down. I really feel that right now, you know, that nobody wants to blame on the coaches, and it's always about the players. You know what? You know, sometimes Flacco walks off the field. You can tell that he didn't agree with the play that was called. Flacco has said in multiple...
It's not his job to, though.
He said in multiple press conferences, he said it again 2 weeks ago, we run the plays they call. If you talk to Ray Rice, I guarantee if you put a microphone in Ray Rice or you get him off camera, hey, Ray, are you happy about running the ball 9 times? No, I want the ball 29 times. You know, so these
the buck stops with John Harbaugh, though.
Exactly.
You can be mad at Cam all you want, but you know what? You need to direct that anger to John Harbaugh that allows it to go on.
Listen, we've been to the playoffs, and I appreciate it, but you know what? What do we all want? You know, last year we got close to the Super Bowl. I think Ozzie and Mr. Bisciotti are now going to get involved and say, you know what? We know we're capable of better. Do we have the right coaching staff in place? And I, you know, it's a question that we're going to ponder probably for some time.
We got about 60 seconds. On a positive note, there are things I think offensively. We run the ball more. I think formationally, if we help our tackles out, I think we let Orr and Osemele, who are not great pass protectors, although they've done maybe better at times than I thought, especially against Dallas and Philadelphia. Formationally, you can protect them, you can chip, you can keep a tight end. There's things to fix. You run the ball more, play action, sets up things, makes it easier to pass. Those things are fixable. Defensively, you know, we're going to have to see about that. That's a little bit of a different story, and they're hurting injury-wise, and guys are going to have to step up. But there are some positives here, I think, on the offensive end to take out of it, reducing the amount of no huddle and making that more helpful to the defense so that we're not 3 and out all the time. And we'll pick it up and also preview the upcoming game against the Cleveland Browns next. It is the Ravens Wrap Show on Comcast Speech TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, home of the Ravens, 93.5 The Beach. We're back tomorrow.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.